Hello and welcome back to the new player series for Crusader Kings 2. So, last time our character died and we had to work out what we were doing next, but now we are going to be doing what we were planning on doing last episode, which is moving this army down to Barcelona and basically trying to help out our allies in his war. So, before we get into that, I would like to do a minor correction on a previous episode on succession law. Now, when we were looking at, I suppose we'll have to find another one, Ultimagenitor will do. So, when we were looking at this, I went through it and I was going through what the different things were. And here's where you have to learn that sometimes the tooltips contain information that maybe isn't something that you can actually work with. So, when we were going down this tooltip, we saw that we had no vassals are fighting each other, no vassal has a negative opinion of you, and then you get to the bit where all of the following one of the following must be true. So either you have to have Conclave enabled, in which case you have to have late feudal administration or imperial administration. And the other part was the Kingdom of France must have a certain level of crown authority. Now, apparently crown authority was removed in Conclave. So if you have Conclave enabled, you cannot do the other option. So you cannot change crown authority to enable getting Primogenitor or Ultimagenitor. What you have to do if you have Conclave enabled is you have to do late feudal administration or imperial administration. If you do not have Conclave enabled, those two options will not be available to you, and you have to use the crown authority option. Just a minor correction, but hopefully that makes sense to you there. Just thought I'd point it out because it was a little bit confusing. Right, so we are going to head down here and we're going to try and help out our ally. Now you'll see that it says that there are 9,000 enemy troops down here. This is not true. Well, it might be true, but it's not necessarily true. What it's meaning is that there are 9,000 troops on this province. But if we hover over it, we'll see that actually, grayed out here, we'll see that the Grenadian army has 2,000 troops on it. The Dunmanid army has 4,000 troops on it. And then the Jawid and the Hooded army, which we're actually against, combined have about 3,000 troops on it. So overall, they only have about 3,000 troops here. So not quite as dangerous as it first looks. So we're going to unpause and make our way down south here. Yes, we did get our alliances back, which is also a very good thing. So we'll head down south. There's the 3,000 troops. They have engaged with our enemy, well, with our ally. And if we have a look here, we can see a couple of different things about the battle. First things first, we can work out whether either side has an advantage. Now, Conclave has this little thing where it will show you whether either side has an advantage, but if you're doing it manually, not Conclave, Monks and Mystics are the thing, but if you're doing it manually, we can see that in this province, hovering over, look at the right-hand side of the screen in a little tooltip, I'll say terrain. Terrain is plains. Now, what plains means, there are a couple different terrains that you need to look out for, but terrain plains basically means that this province is going to have nothing happening in it. It's just a pure neutral province. I think you can find it out by clicking here as well. Yeah. So if you hover over this a little bit in the extended province view, so all you do is you click on the province, then you click on this little arrow, you can hover over this and it'll tell you what type of terrain it is. Now, hopefully, if I click on somewhere like, just close that down again. If I click on somewhere like Urgel, and then open it up, we'll see that this is mountains. And if we hover over it, you'll see that it has all these little defense things. It's like all these things get a little extra bonus in mountains. What this means is that if you were to attack somebody who is standing in mountains, they would get all these bonuses. Now, these bonuses kind of don't really mean very much just looking at them. But you'll see that it's like light infantry, heavy infantry, pikemen, archers, and horse archers. So there's actually a fairly large amount of different troop compositions get some sort of bonus while being in mountains. I think if we look elsewhere, we'll probably find some. There was hills somewhere. Yeah, okay, so hills. You'll see much of the same stuff that we had in mountains, except that light infantry and heavy infantry nothing happens to them in hills. So sometimes it's useful to know what's happening in different provinces just to see what kind of terrain bonuses you'll get. Now, in Barcelona here, you'll see that... Actually, you won't be able to see because I haven't shown you the first one. If we click on this one over here, you'll see that in this little box, there's a little symbol of a river. If we hover over it, it tells you where the river crossings are. So So there's one between Castellan and there's one between Altabarakan. So you can kind of see it just by looking at the map. You can see where the river flows through. If you were to cross into here, you'd be crossing over a river and you would get some negatives for doing so. Similar to how the mountains worked. But if you look at this box on this province, there's no river. So what we've got here is one army is attacking another army. They're on neutral ground, so no positives or no bonuses or penalties, and there is no river crossing, so there's no bonuses or penalties from that either. So we're going to walk down to Barcelona, and hopefully our ally will win this, because they had a large number of men to start with. But if we can get into the battle, I can show you a little bit more about what's going on. We kind of got into the battle. Yeah, this battle wasn't really worth explaining, but you'll see that basically we have 3 flanks. So we have a left flank, a center flank, and a right flank. And each one has some amount of men in it. And basically, you'll see this bar here is their morale bar. When the enemy's morale bar hits 0 morale, basically what will happen is they will start retreating. When they start retreating, we go into a pursuit phase. So we start chasing them down. We kill a bunch of their troops then. Then, once they have retreated, we would move on to, like, say on this one, that has happened here. Someone has ran away. This guy then moved into the center flank to attack this one. This guy then lost his morale. He ran away. Then both of these guys are now attacking this flank. And if we hover over, you'll see that it says, after it's got the first 2 lines that don't really mean very much to you, next one down is flanking. Flanking is just, it's basically a 30% bonus to your damage or to your, I think, morale damage and actual damage on a flank. So basically morale damage affects this bar right here. It affects how quickly your enemies are going to retreat. Actual damage affects how many casualties you can inflict. So basically you could inflict a lot of casualties but not have a lot of morale damage, so your enemy are going to stay in the fight longer. Or you could inflict a lot of morale damage, so your enemy run away quicker, but they still keep a reasonably large force, so you have to kind of chase them around a little bit to actually kill them. Anyway, this battle wasn't a great example because we didn't really get to look at anything, because it's kind of already over when we arrived. There we go, we get the end battle screen, which we won't talk about for this one because we didn't really get a chance to look into anything. We'll see that this guy here has actually got himself an ally. He has got himself the Afarit Emirate, who has another 3,000 troops added in. So we did need to help our ally, which is nice. He also got this guy in who gave him another 600 troops. So we can hover over this army here, or hover over this set of armies that are moving. And we'll see that it tells you all about when they'll arrive. And the one we're looking for is Barcelona. Top one, Barcelona, will arrive in Tertucia on the 19th of May, 1067. So what we want to do is we ideally want to follow our ally. And what we can do to make this even easier for ourselves is we can click this button right here. So this button makes us always follow the army of Duke Ramon Berenguer. Basically, if there is an ally on the province, you can click this button and you will always follow them. And it's useful for, say, if you want to just make sure that you're always with the AI and you're always got the strongest force together. You can just attach yourself and he will move you around. So we can now just escape out of that and just watch our army move itself around, which hopefully he'll move into some good positions. And hopefully he'll move into a battle so we can watch one. On the other hand, he could sit here and siege and not do very much, and that would be not so great for learning, but we'll see. Oh, are they attacking into us? We can hover over them, and we'll see that he is arriving in Urgel at 27th of July. And we are not in Urgel. Urgel is over here, so he's not attacking into us. Right. Let's see what happens. There is another war going on at the same time. This war appears that Aragon is in a holy war for Aragon. Oh, so he's attacking the same target as us, but there are different people in that war, so he's in different fights. So we don't need to worry about that too much. Okay. Right, and he is losing that war much more severely than we are. Oh, looks like these guys, you can see that their little bit in here turned from grey to red. I think that means there's another person in the war. There's not? Okay. Maybe it just means that some of our enemies are in that battle, basically. This is looking tough, actually, to win this. There's 14,000 troops it says walking towards us, but if we have a look at the actual numbers by hovering over again, we'll see there are slightly less troops than it says. There's roughly about maybe 5,000 troops heading towards us right now, and we have about 5,000 troops, so it's not going to be that tough, although our ally is running away. So our ally will actually manage to run away. Okay, are we going to get caught? 6th of October, 10th of October. So yes, there is going to be a battle, and you'll see this right next to the little army thing. You can see these little swords there, and that means that there will be a fight, and it tells you, if you hover over, like when it will start and who's going to be in it. So hopefully we're fine. So it's actually 7,000 troops came in there at the end. Okay. So now we can hover over, like we can open this up and see exactly what is happening. So we have 3 flanks. Each one attacks the one directly opposite from it. So you see we have 1,800 attacking 2,400. We have 1,800 attacking 3,000. And then we have 1,700 attacking 1,400. Now, you're going to see why I made sure very quickly into the war why we had commanders on each flank. On their flank here, well, on each one you can see that we have this little martial number, right? And this basically is how good at base this person is at leading an army. If you have no commanders on your flanks, you will get a 0. And a 0 is obviously not very good. Their tactics are going to be awful. You're just going to get bad rolls all day. So hopefully what will happen in this fight is this side will start to do very, very well. And you'll see that actually we can see how many casualties there are on each flank, which is very useful for knowing how different things are going. For instance, you can see on the center flank, we either got a really good tactics roll or our leader is significantly better than their leader, as they took 34 losses on the last day's attack, while we only took 11. And if that keeps happening, we can easily win the center because we have more, because they are taking 3 times as many casualties and they don't have 3 times as many troops. And on the right flank here, we are also winning a little bit, but we also have more men and a better leader. So if we want to know how good leaders are, we can hover over each of these little things that tells us what we got. So we got an extra 10% on this one for morale damage. So this flank's likely to lose morale even quicker than usual because we've got a cruel leader. In our center here, we've got a brave leader, so this gives us morale defense. So what this means is our center flank's less likely to fall. On their side, they have no special abilities. So our center flank's less likely to fall by 20% more than it should be. And then on our right, we have brave, so it's less likely to fall by 18% because he's not quite as good at it. And their guy has nothing special. So we might actually win this battle. I'm going to slow it right down. We'll let the ticks keep going. So you see, this guy is continuing to take losses on the next tick. Go one more. Continuing to take losses. Continuing to take losses. He's actually getting hurt quite a lot because his marshal is significantly lower than our guys, who's actually our brother-in-law, the Duke of Barcelona. And our guy is not losing a lot of morale because he's brave. On the left-hand side, we are losing a little bit because our guy is not so good at martial, and they're getting perhaps some good rolls here, and they have a reasonable amount more men than we have. Okay, we'll keep it going. Okay, the left-hand side has turned into, it's gone into the next phase. It's gone into the melee phase. And what this basically means is there's going to be more losses on that side. Like, there's just going to be exponentially more losses and things are kind of speeding up. But on the positive side, we are winning these two. So here, we're likely to take a lot of losses. But in the center and the right, we're going to hold for a while. So we'll see how this goes. So, our left is falling very quickly. Oh, we got Amongst the Mystics event while we're in here. This is another thing about going over battles. Sometimes we get other events. Dantes Sulian has contacted me asking me if I have any interest in learning more about roses. Apparently it's his latest achievement. Okay, we'll learn more about roses. That's fine. Back to this. Basically, that was just a flavor text event as far as I can tell, so we're just going to ignore it while we go into here. Okay. Every single army is now in the melee phase. So what's probably going to happen, my theory is the left-hand side, because we have slightly less morale and we have less troops, is going to fall for us. Their right-hand side, because we have significantly more morale, and more troops is going to fall for them. We're then going to have the right hand side contributing to the center for us, and the left hand side contributing to the center for them, and we're going to win because we have more morale in the center. Let's see how this plays out. We'll go another tick. Just going to do it one tick at a time. Okay, one more tick, and there we go. Their right hand side lost. What this means is we now have our guy with all of his armies getting the flanking bonus of 30% into the center. This means that their center is outnumbered because we have more men than them now, and we are also doing more damage because we're flanking. So they should start taking even more casualties on the next tick. There you go. See, you took negative 259 casualties. Now they're just finishing off they're pursuing the armies on each side here. So they should run away. Our left hand side is thankfully still holding. So, our left hand side is now running away. And wait a couple more ticks. Oh, we are in the battle apparently. Oh, we're brave. Okay. I don't really want to be in the battle, but we will sort that out in a second, I think. I don't think we're a military leader anyway. We'll double check that after the battle. So another tick. Another tick. Oh, we got a mission. This is a monks and mystics only thing. God's blessings upon thee. The Benedictine order is in need of more funds to maintain charitable functions. We hope you're able to spare some of your worldly wealth to help us on this holy mission. He wants us to donate to charity. What we can do here is, because we know it's a monks and mystics thing, we can go to intrigue and see if donate to charity is there and see how much they'd want. So they want us to pay 100 gold. We do not have 100 gold to give, so we're going to decline. Now, if we want to get back into the battle screen, we just select the battle and we can see it right here. So, this tick, one of the armies should disappear from their side. Maybe. Next tick. Next tick. Okay, we'll just keep going. There we go. Their right hand side went away. And then our left hand side has pretty much given up as well. So now we're back to flanking. They're retreating, so we're kind of double hitting this guy in the center. He's down. Now we've got 2 against 1, and we got a flanking bonus on this guy, so it should be fairly easy to watch us just kind of run over them. And there you go. That's basically how battles work. Now you see, we did have less troops, but because we had actual commanders in all of our flanks, we won the battle. So that's kind of a little bit of an example there. If you have commanders in all of your armies that are good, you can overcome some odds. And it does kind of show that even though we had better commanders, we only very just came out with a win there, because if, say, our left hand side had fallen quicker, say it didn't have a commander, same that theirs didn't have a commander, our left hand side would have fallen much earlier in the battle, then they would have got all the flanking bonuses, then they would have been able to push out our center and they would have been able to win. So yeah, it's an interesting battle. Right, let's have a look here. Our war score, which we can see, this is how well we were doing in the war, is 80%. Now, that's because we've got 21% from the Battle of Onessa, 56% from the Battle of Vic, which I think is the one that just went by, maybe? Yes, Battle of Vic. So what I did to find that is I clicked on Barcelona and I hovered over one of the holdings. One of the holdings is called Vic. So that's just how it names battles, it's just where it is. It'll sometimes just choose a random holding underneath. And then we get 5% because we hold Ahmed Hudid prisoner. So we probably caught him in the battle. And then we also get 0.0% because we control Barcelona. So that's taking war score. Right. So we should be able to continue on a little bit of a faster speed. The AI has decided to siege, and now we get the next part of our Roses event popping up. Escorted through the gardens of the monastery, I immediately spot the work of Brother Sulian. The roses are a delicate mixture of red and yellow, a hue of sunset at their centre. They're beautiful, my escort nods, offering me a small spade. They're a little cramped over there though. Wouldn't you mind helping me out? Okay. So we can either say yes, and what this will do is this will get us learning. 64% chance of getting 1 learning, or 35% chance of losing a learning and losing prestige. And I'd be like, what's up with that 1%, right? Well, actually, it does say one of 2 options will happen. So this means that one of these 2 options will happen. Why is it a little bit odd? I guess what's happened here is it's that 60... It must be like 64.7 or something percent against 35.3. Something like that is what's happening here. But basically we have a higher chance of getting the 1 learning than we have of losing a learning. Or we can say, no thank you. This guy receives a letter with our compliments, and then we get some opinion. We don't really care about who Sulian is. He's not in our court. He's over there in Gwynedd, which is over up in Wales. So we don't care about him. In case you're wondering how I did that, again, I just clicked on the guy's face, and then just clicked on liege until I ran out of lieges. And then I clicked on the little shield, and it just took me straight to him. Right. Or we can get a chance of learning. Well, learning's not a great stat overall, but I'd like it to go up. We've got more chance of it going up than going down with this, and even if it goes down, it doesn't matter that much. So we're going to take the chance of it going up. Losing 0.05 prestige monthly means nothing. Over the course of a year, that is 0.6 prestige. Our prestige is currently at 41. If we hover over it, we can see that it goes up by 2.35 a year just passively. So it going down by 0.05 a month, it means nothing. So we'll click on this, and if we click on here, we can see that our learning is still 4. If we hover over this, we see that actually our learning has gone down by 1. Why our learning is still 4, I'm not 100% sure. That should be 3, I think, but it definitely says learning should go down by 1. Oh, there we go. It just took a second to actually calculate. Okay. Right. Well, I think I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching, and next time we will continue this war and we'll win it. So, thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.